Smith 7, Keselowski 22, Stewart 33, and contact! Smith turned around. Tony Stewart is going to win this race. And a terrible crash coming to the finish.
This is a big wreck.
Kyle Larson's car with the front end severely torn off. He's bailing out of the car. Normally you come to Talladega, you're sweating. Today we had on the hooded sweatshirts and the jackets. Trouble, Kyle Larson, Jeffrey Earnhardt.
Doesn't look like too much damage to the 79, but Larson's car looks torn up a little bit.
In the grass, in the middle of 3 and 4.
Having a tough time. It looks like he might make it out of there. Real wet. I mean, we've had so much rain.
Very wet.
Oh, yeah. The left rear tire blew out on that 32.
That's more the dirt he's expected. Not here at Talladega, though. Looking ahead from Austin Dillon.
Oh man.
Yeah, you can see that tire, when it let go, it just shredded that left rear quarter panel and all the inner fender panels.
And that's a shock to a driver. I mean, you're driving along, minding your own business, and bam. Did a really good job of driving it there.
You can see Jeffrey Earnhardt getting caught up in it.
Looks like he might have gotten spun by another car out of traffic in the jam up and the slowdown.
This is one of those times.
Oh, there it is, turn 3. Brian Scott, Johanna Long, Trevor Bayne, and more. Ty Dillon.
Are we jumped?
Torn up pretty good, Kelly. Backed out of it, Kellanoff. They just wrecked, and I couldn't go anywhere.
Sam Hornish.
The car made it through there. Yeah, we're going to get a good look here. So
Sam trying to thread the needle and just not enough room.
He kind of got forced down there a little bit by the 70 car. You know, just not enough space. I truly believe it's a product of raindrops. Everyone's saying go for it. We heard James Finch and those guys telling Kurt Busch, lead the thing. We need to be out front. And it's when you get aggressive here, and that's about the farthest point away from the spotters that you can be. I mean,
yeah, they can't help much in that situation regardless, but you can't really see, you can't tell them which lane to be in, where it's really happening. You can see there's trouble from the spotter stand, but it's hard to tell exactly what's going on.
Trouble after the checkered flag. They're crashing down in turn 1.
You're right. Walk it down, you're right.
Oh, wow. Ryan Reed into Joe Nemechek hard. You see the cars involved. You see Reed climbing from his machine. This is after the checkers. That was Junior who hit Kyle Larson and set that off, it looks like.
Oh, that was a hard lick right there for Ryan Reed. After you get to the checker flag, you think you've made it. And now this happens. This is a tough one to take. Joe was just kind of minding his own business.
Yeah.
So was Ryan Reed. Tangled up in that.
When he came from turn 4 toward the checker, Junior pulled out 3 wide and made a 3 wide low move at the finish line. You see him here coming, well, that's after the checkers. But coming to the checkers, he made a 3 wide move low, which you're supposed to do. Try and get everything you can at the checkers. But that just kind of bottled them up when they got past the checkers and everybody tried to get woed up.
I tell you how critical it is, water pressure and temperature. Most of these guys have moved those 2 gauges to the top of their dashboard, where it's in the driver's line of sight, so he doesn't have to look down at all.
Caution flag waves in Daytona. Kyle Larson, who made a pit stop earlier after cutting a tire against the wall and Now he goes to the inside. Looks like a little more right front fender damage.
Yeah, you know what, Larry? I got to believe it might be that sway bar rubbing on that tire. That would be my first thought. Oh.
Not the way that little 21-year-old wanted to start this 2014 season. Great news, though, for Greg Biffle. We just had spoke about him. He's the first driver 1 lap down.
Thanks, Krista Dale Earnhardt.
Whoa, here we go.
Big crash again, turn 4. It's Calamity Corner. There's rookie Reed Sorensen sliding down off the banking. Big damage to the Ford of Marcus Ambrose, number 9. And caution waves with 38 laps to go.
Marcus Ambrose with a bunch of damage there. And once again, watch the back of the 3 car. The car starts to get loose like you saw before. He chases it up the hill. 42 was maybe inching down a little bit. Kyle Larson in the 42, and they came together, and that's what caused that wreck.
Just nowhere from Mike Lynette in the 7, Casey Kane in the 5. It's nowhere for him to go.
I think there was something going on with that 3 car because off of 2 down there, it got sideways. He goes into 3. It starts to get sideways. He washes up into Kyle Larson in the 42. And then from there on, it was on. I think Kyle
involved in that big wreck, obviously. And spotter Joey Meyer told him, remember, when you bump, make it to the middle or right. And there's a bump right there, Alan.
Contact and trouble again in turns 3 and 4. Brian Scott racing for the lead moments ago, and others involved.
All 3 Richard Childress owned cars together in that wreck right then.
Trevor Bayne.
It looked like Todd Dillon. I couldn't tell how much damage he got.
Check it out. I'm coming your way. All right, boys. Be ready to lift up the right side. Bring some tires with you. Some hammers. Get the fenders off the...
It's Brendan Gaughan. Now it's twice today now we've seen guys racing up at the front of the pack. Have a little bumping and a little banging, maybe at just the wrong spot on the race car. There's Kyle Larson involved there, the white car in the middle. 74 is Mike Harmon, 23, Robert Richardson there. Let's see.
Oh, my. Yeah, that is absolutely the worst place to hit. And no reason for contact there because it wasn't going to help anybody.
And look at that, the 62-3 and the 2, all teammate cars, all in that wreck. It looks like Trevor, just like you said, Andy, got aggressive getting into that corner.
Well, see, right there. Yeah, right on that left rear corner, he's got no chance. If you make contact with another car there, you got no chance to save that. I think Trevor just misjudged somehow.
With a little gap. Oh, check up. So low.
It doesn't take any contact.
Hold it down. Go high. All right, we got to check.
Coming off of turn 4, when we get to the start-finish line, we will complete lap 20 today.
Rickon behind you here, Rickon.
And now we have a crash. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. involved. Tony Stewart around. And that's Dale Earnhardt Jr. through the infield grass. Carl Edwards has some damage.
Kenseth just about had it missed, and looks like he ran into the 88.
Harvick, Johnson,
a lot of good
Kyle
race
Larson.
cars. I mean, a lot of good race cars. Guys in the points.
First big accident of the day here at Daytona.
We're seeing it for the first time. It looks like Stenhouse got a little bit squirrely. Stewart came up and got into Jeff Gordon there. Looks like Stewart was just trying to avoid the 17.
Next lap, here comes the leader. Oh, Kevin Harvick with some contact at the back of the pack, spun around. Got one spinning on the apron of 1 and 2 coming off the pit lane, trying to get up to speed. Caution is out. Caution is out. Kyle Larson spun coming off the pit lane, and the yellow flag is out before all the green flag pit stops have been finished. And watch Larson here as he's a part of this group.
Now, one red. Stand outside. You're right.
pull the door out. He just got hit right there above in front of the right rear. Front of the right rear.
A lot going on during that cycle.
Here you go. Come around 5.
It looked like the 7 of Michael Annette got into the back of Kevin Harvick as they had to check up there.
Yeah, one thing that happened right there is Danica slowed everybody down. She checked up just a little bit more than I think they were expecting as they hit pit road, and it jammed everybody up.
And now this is going back off the pit lane on the apron of the track.
Yeah, he's down on the real flat of the track there. He had someone to his outside and couldn't get out there where there's a little bit of banking.
Right,
and that is the dirtiest part down there.
Yellows out.
Prior to today, the only place where... Oh, big trouble. That's the rookie Suarez up and over Regan Smith, the big one at Daytona in the Tri-Oval.
.42 turned us right there. All right, just stop, Daniel.
Giving him a shove here. Kyle Larson, excuse me. And it looks like he just gets him in a bad spot right there, and he just got behind in his steering.
Yeah, he got too far to the right, and coming off of the corner right there, that car unloads as you come off of that banking, and it just took just a little bit too much. And that's that window that you have to push. And if you get outside of the center of that back bumper, the way that the front and back bumpers are curved, it's going to spin that car out.
The next flag ends it. If there's a caution now, the race is over. Almirola is pushing hard on Larson.
Larson sideways into the wall. There he goes.
That's that same wall.
Will they let him race back?
Giving Brad a chance to see the white flag by himself. And then an aggressive push by Almirola took out Kyle Larson. He took Ross Chastain with him.
Out of play, 3 wide. Big cluster coming off turn number 4. Smoke, trouble, way in the back, but here come the leaders.
The question is, are they going to throw the yellow, or are they going to let them race back? Start off in the back straightaway over here. Let's see what happens.
4 wide. And Austin Dillon tips Jeff Gordon.
Yep.
And it's on.
Right in that spot where it didn't take much.
And as they kept wrecking and more cars kept coming into the crash scene, NASCAR had to throw the caution.
3 wide. Got help. A lot of help here. 2 wide.
Look at him work that wheel.
You know, Jeff has
trouble back straightaway, guys. Car around.
Trevor Bayne.
A number of cars
and
involved.
more. Logano is in it.
Crashing all. Oh, man.
Happened.
Gosh, the 6 just started to turn all by itself. I mean,
But Darrell, do you think the 27 car being out there on the outside, it just pulled the back end of Trevor Bayne's 6 car around?
It had to, Larry, because the car was not in any, there was nobody around him except that 27 closing fast. The air off the 27 obviously affected the 6. See right here, he gets a big run coming. You got I think that's Tony Stewart down below him. He's got cars on both sides of him.
And then Kurt Busch got into Bayne. And into the wall he went.
Wow.
And once Landon Castle gets sideways to the field, along with Kyle Larson and Greg Biffle, there's nowhere to go.
No, and these guys have all told me that these cars in certain situations are really, really loose.
Of danger, take a look at what happens. The 42 of Kyle Larson completely sideways.
He gets down on the apron. You see the sparks where the track bar mount hits the ground. He saves it, but he comes up the track, has no choice but to connect with the 19, who then starts to spin. Brad Keselowski gets a face full of sparks. The 17 does go around, and now the track is blocked. Now these guys are trying to find a hole through, and the 2 gets woed up, and the 3 kind of gets woed up, but then you see Carl Evans goes back up the track, and here comes Brian Scott with a full head of steam. Makes big contact with the back of the 19.
This will be a wild ride, too.
You see Carl, he's watching, going around a lap car right here. Larson just gets loose, car goes around, tries to shoot the middle, just didn't clear him.
front of the field. You can follow Miss Sprint Cup as the big one's happening once again, coming out of turn number 4. Into the wall, Kyle Larson. Multiple cars sideways. Martin Truex Jr., a lot of damage to the front end of his car. Eric Almirola also involved. There's Kyle Larson. Damage to the front end. Once again, coming out of turn number 4, a tricky spot on this track.
We've seen this time and time again. The 20 tries to come down on the 5. I don't know if he actually makes contact with the 5 or just the air gets him loose. Man, and then it's just a mess, right? When you have trouble in front of that many cars, there's just nowhere to go. You see the 9 spinning, trying to avoid it. Once the smoke is that thick, there's just nowhere to go.
All these cars behind them right now, they're just trying to find somewhere to go, but there just never is. You just keep piling in. You're on the brakes. The guys behind you are running into you. You know, it's just a big. This is plate racing. This is what we talk about.
Coming into the NBC Sports restart zone. Spins his tires. Green flag back in the air. Around goes to 48.
Caution's out.
And the caution is out. That will now determine who wins this race. That they're saying that's not an attempt. NASCAR's saying not an attempt.
So as they enter the zone, the 22 Logano has trouble getting going, and then everybody behind him just stacked up.
There you see it, and the caution flag waves before they reach the start-finish line. Therefore, the race was never put under green flag condition. So this was not their first attempt.
So look at Jimmy Johnson trying to push Paul Menard. Paul Menard trying to push the 2 Keselowski. Here we come to the restart zone on the bottom of the racetrack. Everybody's starting to bunch up. Everybody wants to push each other. The 78 ended up pushing the 48 so hard he pushes him around, gets him spun out.
And the 4 had already moved to the outside line because he couldn't get up to speed.
Back already knocking on the door of the top 10, despite the fact he made that pit stop into Bobby Labonte, and they're out of shape on the back straightaway. That's Jeff Burton in the 43 sliding through the grass. Second caution of the afternoon, and Bobby Labonte also gets turned around.
Chris on the leader.
Well, Greg Keselowski's won here.
Car in the wall, turn 1 hard.
Oh, that's going to be big. Big.
Oh, huge wreck.
Everybody.
They're still running into each other. Newman's on fire.
13 cars got away. Everybody else is in it. Jimmy Johnson was getting a push from Kurt Busch when that began.
Saw the 11, the 42. I mean, that's everybody.
We had just been talking about the aggressiveness picking up.
Yep.
More pushing, trying to break free of that 3 wide.
3 gets wrecked again.
Jimmy Johnson and the 41 of Kurt Busch.
Here comes the push. Gets a little side drive from that 27. Just gets him in that left rear.
Got him on that left rear.
It doesn't take much.
Can't do it.
You can do that a little bit in the corner where the car's loaded up, but on the straightaway, you got to be real careful. Look like just as the 41 was getting there, the 48, moved just a little bit, and that's all it took. That little bit of contact.
Well, you just cannot.
Now watch Jimmy Johnson outside, second row.
Oh, they got 4 wide. What happened was the 1 car, he snuck to the outside of the 48 getting into turn 3, and the 6 tried to go to the inside. Just not enough room to make it 4 wide right there.
And Mike, I know you won't. The cars are the most difficult to hang on to at the end of that back straightaway. They're light right there. Any touch, any move can spin you out.
I got you. I've not only seen this, I've been a part of this. Jamie McMurray pulls this move a lot. He sticks his nose just right there on your right rear quarter panel, nudges his way in there, and makes some great moves, but it is very aggressive.
Inside, after the 33, drop to the bottom.
Yeah, Larson going all the way to the back of the field. He may have brushed the wall as
sparks flying out from under the car like the right front tire is down.
Contact with the wall brings out the first caution.
And the big one happens at Daytona. Kyle Busch goes around in front of 3 or 4 other cars, collecting them, and the caution comes out again.
You have to be wide open. Look how fast that happened. Joey Logano, a hard impact into Kyle Busch. You see the 42 of Kyle Larson, the 78 of Martin Truex Jr.
He was
many cars damaged.
He was right in front of his brother, Kurt Busch was just behind him when he wiggled. Let's take a look, riding along with Dale Jr.
Stay low, 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 low.
We're on board with Kyle Larson there. He locks it down, spins it to the inside. I don't see him hit anything too different. Nope, looks like just some minor damage.
And now, falling back just a bit in that inside line, the 17 of Ricky Stenhouse Jr. Look at the hands on AJ Allmendinger. Up in the air goes the 42 of Kyle Larson. Caution comes out. And another contact. Matt Kenseth hits. The one of Jamie McMurray flying down pit road. Kyle Larson up in the air, right in front of the grandstands.
How did he get back on the ground without flipping?
See right here, he gets down low. The 17 of Ricky Stenhouse tries to fill the upper lane. The 42 tries to block. And as you said, the 42 was destined to go airborne. The roof flaps deployed, setting the 42 back on the ground. And as that happened, the 41 of Kurt Busch crossed the tri-oval, took a hard hit. This is another great action shot right here. Watch this 42. Hits the wall, then gets pushed into the air by the 17. You see the roof flap open. The car sets back on the ground.
The 21 of Blaney, he's in the brakes, just nothing you can do. Remember, Matt Kenseth, Casey Kane, it got shuffled back. They got behind this wreck. Matt Kenseth did not get through it. Casey Kane did.
The 41 of Kurt Busch also came back across the racetrack. He hit it very hard into the safer barrier.
If you've ever been on a multi-ton airliner and taken off, those planes take off at 170 miles an hour. We're riding along at over 190 with the 42.
His hands off the wheel for 90% of that.
Small pack, but this is it. All fighting. A huge opportunity for some drivers out here. Suarez is going to go around. He got tagged from the back. Right in front, hard contact.
Hold it up there, Yellow's out. Be ready, guys. Right.
An attempt to make it 3 wide.
Well, guess who wasn't involved? The 88s. It's an attrition race now.
See right here, Chase Elliott tries to make it 3 wide, and the 42 came up a little bit, the 19 came down a little bit, and another big wreck. But the hole's there, so Chase Elliott, he's doing. Why not make that move? It's there, and then it just closed up.
Well, this is what we talk about. How aggressive do you want to be? If you're not going to go for that hole, then you're not going to win this race. And you could argue both sides of that. Say, hey, it's a good points day. Don't try to take that hole. But that's not how race car drivers are wired. When they see that gap open up, Jeff, that is green light. That is going for the win at Talladega.
And again, it's not that the 42 or the 19 may have turned their wheels, but when you have that many cars and they're that close, the air moves you around. It's not like the cars just go perfectly straight.
Look at Allgaier getting drop kicked. Oh no, there they go. Spinner into the wall, Almirola. Larson out of shape. So is Chase Elliott. And the caution is out again.
We made it so far, Michael, but we just couldn't keep this up. Oh, and they're still hitting.
When we got the green flag, there were 32 cars on the lead lap. You knew there was a potential of this, and now we'll have a second overtime restart here at Daytona. And see all the damage.
Just a big push here from Chase Elliott to Eric Almirola. Kyle Larson goes up to block it, but he just can't sustain it. They're not up to speed. The cars aren't set in the rear, and it just huge spin, as you can tell. Looked like Chase at the very end got a push from Daniel, which actually turned him sideways. You can see they're only at 180 mile an hour, so the cars aren't at full speed right now. They're not set down in the racetrack. That makes them really easy to spin. We'd seen contact like this earlier in the race, but at this speed, the rear heights in the car aren't set. They're not down in the racetrack. They don't have the downforce. they're way more susceptible to spinning with that contact.
They've been for Ryan Truex in that 11.
This will tell the tale here.
So it looks to me like from this view that Kyle Larson just didn't quite get high enough on Eric Almirola. He was trying to maybe protect the inside a little bit, and the push wasn't quite as square as he needed, again, with the car not at full speed.
Oh, I don't know if those guys are going to make it off turf. No, they didn't. Will the caution flag fly?
Did he get to the start-finish line? We'll see here. Caution did not come out. Oh, there it goes. Caution flag comes out with the white flag.
The yellow
The question becomes, did the caution come out before Tyler Reddick got to the start-finish line?
I think
that one. So, yeah, I just hate that I cost our team a win or a good finish. Who knows if we would have won or not. But it would have been cool to get DC Solar in victory lane. Had a lot of fun today. Led a lot of laps. Felt like I learned a lot and was able to block runs and stuff, and felt I did a good job there until the end. The runs were getting a lot faster and hard to block there.
NASCAR is still reviewing the number 22 of Logano to see if he will be penalized. Look at this! Oh, Stenhouse! He saved it!
No, Eric Jones is not going to be able to save it.
Jones did not.
Come on.
Jones, his teammate Suarez, William Byron, Jimmy Johnson are all in it along with Ty Dillon. Oh,
Trevor Bayne was able to weave his way through there.
View to sort out what happened here. 3 wide. Look at the orange number 19 and the 88.
So the 12 of Blaney goes try to make a move on the 17 of Stenhouse. He blocks it. They make contact. Great save by Stenhouse, but so much momentum coming with the 20 of Eric Jones. When he gets into the back of the 17 of Stenhouse, his car starts going around on him.
What a shame.
Eric Jones up into Jamie McMurray, who collects Trevor Bayne in the 6, and it's on.
Oh, hard
Bayne, a
left
hard
side
hit. Martin Truex involved. Kyle Larson. And we're under caution.
You saw McMurray, you'll see him, he gets involved in this. It almost looked like his wreck from Friday. It starts off that way.
Right across into Truex. And then Bayne in the 6 to the inside barrier. And let's ride through this with Martin Truex.
Jumping from the bottom to the outside. Now he'll reside in the middle. Now back to the outside of the racetrack. Look out. Here comes the run. Whoa, he throws the block. Keselowski's in the wall. Kurt Busch is in the wall. A dozen cars will crash and collide. Sparks fly with Denny Hamlin crashing. Joey Logano is in it. Bubba Wallace is in there as well.
And that crash continued over in front of you, Kurt Becker.
Yeah, a lot of drivers have climbed from their machines along the apron in turns 3 and 4. Brad Keselowski is one. Ryan Blaney is another. Joey Logano for a third. Kurt Busch for a fourth. Logano took a look, walked all the way around his car, kind of shook his head, took the palm of his hand, ran it up across his scalp, and just acted like, these things happen. Same with Kurt Busch. He talked to the safety crew, shook his head, wait for another day.
Here's what it sounded like, at least what Brad Keselowski's take on that crash was.
I'm all right. She got turned by a bad block. Sorry, guys. He's out of the car.
All right, we'll discuss that and more here coming up in just a moment. Here's what we have, and this list will grow. Alex Bowman, Chase Elliott, Brad, Kurt Busch, Denny Hamlin, Eric Almirola, Brendan Gaughan, Bubba Wallace, Joey Logano.
Coast.
It's a wounded car lot down here. We've got cars all over the place here. Let's see, Kyle Larson, they're working on the under the car, damage on the right side of that car. Austin Dillon looks like he got 3 of the 4 corners, right front, right rear, left rear on that. David Reagan, they just took a can opener to the right front of that car, damage everywhere on that machine. And there's other cars on down pit road and more cars down in front of Winston Kelly.
Oh! A lot of sparks flying. The 42 goes around, collects the 17. Larson around and got Ricky Stenhouse Jr. as he was going.
Rolling here if you can.
Right there,
he's got
see?
a flat tire.
Yeah, he had a problem. It just spun all by himself. I saw sparks flying from the car.
Yeah,
I didn't
right
think
rear tire.
Ryan, yeah.
Right rear tire come apart.
I didn't think Ryan Newman made contact. It's just he has a problem right rear tire, and around he goes. Stenhouse, nothing he could do.
Decisions, though, guys. Decisions. Remember the 17. Would he have been at the back of that pack?
would he have even been in that position if they would have pitted earlier with the other leaders?
So this, the 6th caution to slow the pace here at Daytona as we go NASCAR nonstop.
Oh, we got a spin down the back straightaway.
Kyle Larson around. And Kyle Larson, as poorly as his car was handling to start the weekend, he goes around and bringing out the 4th caution of the day.
Oh, he blows a tire. Did he blow a right front tire or something? Yeah. What if he had a tire unwind just like the 22 did?
I don't know why a right front would make him spin out, though. You hear the tire blow out.
All right, guys, we're wrecking here. Looks like we blew the left rear.
Yeah, it had to be a rear tire to make him spin.
Gas up.
Yeah. Right there. Incredible.
Yeah, amazing. Look at Brad Keselowski.
See, the right front blew and it was spinning, and then that's what broke the right front fender.
Watch this, what Brad Keselowski sees.
You're holding even serve here. We're right in front of you, Come on through here.
Brad never heard the spotter. That happened so quickly. That's just a response. Good job by Brad.
Why did they choose 20 to go, DW, and now do it?
Yeah, we're setting up for the finish. Kyle Larson. Wow.
See Larson, I believe, right in this area.
Yeah, that's him.
I think that they're either a tire started going. That looks to me like maybe a left rear tire started going down.
Jeff, I saw tire debris out from behind the car as he went to the bottom lane.
He was trying to get out of the way. Ooh, baby. I mean, honestly, for where that happened and what happened, he did a pretty nice job of not tearing that car up a lot worse.
Well, he's had a lot of practice today of almost spinning it out, so that helped.
Side lane to Benedetto and Paul Menard.
Yeah, Paul Menard giving a pretty nice push down the back straightaway to Benedetto. Gets to his right rear. Oh, yeah, that just starts to turn him a little bit.
Got him in the right rear.
And then he collects Menard.
Yeah.
Logano just misses it, but the whole outside lane and half the inside pile up.
And this is exactly what we were just talking about. At this stage in the race, you can start to taste victory in the Daytona 500. You want to see that checkered flag, and you'll do anything to get it, and you know you've got to be more aggressive with those bump drafts. Oh, he's going to turn the 30. Oh, man, he almost turned the 34 McDowell.
Great save by McDowell. Now here we go. They wrecked again.
Larson and Stenhouse. You won't believe how Ryan Preece shot the gap and got through there.
We saw this, the last wreck that happened. The 22 and the 34 are bump drafting there. The 22 hooks him a little bit, but actually this wreck ended up happening because the 17 of Stenhouse dove to the middle. There really wasn't much of a hole there. Collects the 42 of Larson, the 4, knocks the 4.
Kevin Harvick, he goes up the hill, hits the wall, and here comes the 13, gets into the 2, spins him around. Holy smokes. I thought the truck race that night, they had 6 trucks or 7 that were running at the finish. I thought, I'd never seen anything like that.
Elliott, Alex Bowman, Ryan Preece. Logano on the outside. And Byron's around. He crashes. Caution is out.
Heavy impact to the inside wall by the 42 of Larson.
Man. Kyle Larson, Jeffrey Earnhardt with heavy damage. And William Byron.
Man.
On the last lap.
Good execution. That's what we needed. Needed this one bad.
Kyle Larson is out, and
that's good to see.
His difficult season continues. And the first Chevrolet to go to victory lane this year. What a hard tumble for Kyle Larson.
And that was after a really hard hit with that front nose to the inside wall.
It just won't stop.
Ninth for Toyota.
Going down there a little bit further in the 62 car, Brendan Gaughan finished 10th.
Great run for the part-time driver. Part-time cup driver.
LaJoy, 11th.
Corey LaJoy.
So this is coming off of turn 2 onto the back straightaway. Oh, yeah, you can just see, it looks like the 38 goes up the racetrack, makes contact with the 24, Byron. And that sends Jeffrey Earnhardt and Kyle Larson. Look at the air get under the right rear of the 42.
Wow.
Heavy contact with that right front. Left front.
That safer barrier was there. Thank goodness for that. But watch this thing. Once it starts flipping, it's like a feather. It just won't stop.
Yeah, it looks like the 38 of Reagan just, I don't know if he gets loose or something. You know, obviously the car wasn't in the racetrack right there, sending him up the racetrack.
Wow.
Pretty lucky right there. William Byron didn't go upside down as you saw the car get up off the ground and then settle back down, but that was not the case for the 42 of Larson.
It just happened. A lot of cars, and we were just watching Kevin Harvick up in the wall in turn 3 and 4. I wonder if maybe there was anticipation a caution was going to fall, and that kind of startled everybody. I'm not for sure. But one thing for sure, Alex and Jeff, we just witnessed a big one here at Daytona during this 400-mile race.
Yeah, we did, and it started at the front of the field when Austin Dillon got turned going down in the middle of turns number 1. Hey, a few moments ago, we asked you to participate in an MRN fan vote that was presented by Quality Inn Hotels. Win a trip for 2 to next year's Coke Zero Sugar 400 at Daytona. Enter now at qualityinn.com. The question we asked you was, who do you think would win the Coke Zero Sugar 400? Keep in mind, this was a few laps ago. 51% of the vote leading the way said Austin Dillon was going to win. Yeah, not so much now. Austin Dillon's car is wadded up after the big crash over in turns 1 and 2. Next MRN fan vote, you simply need to go to mrn.com/vote to be a part of the discussion. Log on and you could win $250 for being a part of the poll. Just a few laps ago, as a matter of fact, 18 laps ago, there was a money line caution that fell, and then Kurt Busch was a lap down. He got the beneficiary free pass. Suddenly, he is the new race leader here at Daytona after the big crash.
We'll take you downstairs along pit road here in just a moment. There's been a number of cars there, but let's just recap for you some of the cars. I'm sure I don't have them all that were involved over there in turn 1. They include, at the time, Austin Dillon, the race leader, and Clint Boyer, who was going after the lead, working down to his inside. Both of them involved. Ryan Preece, Denny Hamlin, Chase Elliott, Parker Kligerman, Ryan Blaney, Kyle Busch, Chris Buescher, Alex Bowman, Joey Logano, Bubba Wallace, Ricky Stenhouse Jr., I'm probably missing somebody.
Well, and you might have run out of ink.
I did.
Elliott, I think, fortunate to get away with that.
How about Alex Bowman in the 88? He gets a shove. He's going to go sideways right in front of the pack. The 48 caught up, and the 9 is caught up. The caution has come out. He got a big shove right into the front of the pack. The 42 of Kyle Larson, he is there. The 11 is caught up. And flames coming out from underneath the 48 of Jimmy Johnson. Alex Bowman up front, blocking, trying to stay up front. Got him
around.
Incidental contact with Stenhouse and then him into Kyle Larson.
Yeah, and I think Stenhouse may have had a little bit of contact with the 5 of Kyle Larson. Everything he can.
Long for the ride.
There goes Chase Elliott. Let's ride with him through this.
Just staying inside. It's a freeze in your mirror. The 5 top gonna hit it. Mid, down, good down.
Logano goes back up. Keselowski with him. McDowell in tow. Dillon on the bottom.
The run's on top.
Whoa!
Teammates.
Around they go in a hard crash. Kyle Busch.
Kyle Larson.
Caution is out. The order of finish at the moment of caution.
Huge run. Went for it. Joey was obviously had to block.
The question is, where did that caution come out? Chase Elliott pulls ahead of Michael McDowell.
Oh, look at the run he got right there, though.
McDowell, the run on the outside with a little help from Hamlin.
Harvick running second. A big shove coming from the middle. Daniel Suarez in the 99. He gets turned into the 4, and they go into the wall. The next flag will end the race. And there is the caution flag. Ryan Blaney wins The big accident happens behind him.
Suarez with Kurt Busch pushing him, and they just made contact. And
yeah, Suarez goes to the inside of the 4 car there to try to take that run that 1 car of Kurt Busch's gave him, and Kurt gets into the right rear quarter panel, turning the 99 into the 4. Kurt trying to get low with the 99, just not able to get there, not able to help him. Turns.
Blaney wins at Michigan last week and now at Daytona.
Pretty impressive, the 4 car spinning around so quickly, staying on the ground, not going airborne. Are getting so.
Oh, around goes to 77. Justin Allgaier spins, collects the 5. So Larson also in it.
Oh, Larson gets in the back, a little bit of movement. The 77 corrects that movement, and as he's continuously getting pushed, it steers him into the wall.
Directly into the left front tire of Kyle Larson. That could be major damage.
Turn 1.
Maybe that right
blew
front
the right
went down.
tire.
Parker.
Guys, and he was able to meet minimum speed as that tire was blowing through the tribal. He was getting pushed by the one of Kurt Busch. He came on the radio, said, I got a tire going down, and they said, keep going, you're gonna meet minimum speed, and he was able to do that. So if they get that caution that just came out.
I'm already in the wall. We're asking NASCAR right now to answer your question, Rick. If the caution was for debris, do they feel that the 5 should or shouldn't be on the damaged vehicle policy and be on that clock?
So Stenhouse left his dancing partner. He went down, chose to go down and blocked it. Whoa!
Around and into the fence goes Harvick, and it's a 7-car jam session.
Eric Jones is in it. Noah Gregson's in it. Dang it. Chase Elliott.
Todd Gilliland all torn up and climbing out. Kyle Larson from the Goodyear blimp. Harvick outside of Keselowski there, and Bubba Wallace. Here comes Larson. Oh, jammed up.
Larson had a huge run on the outside, and he was trying to slow that momentum down to get to him. But as he got to him, it kind of seemed like Kevin was having, the 17 was backing up to Kevin as well, and it just accordiated.
Yeah, the Harvick was having to slow down. Larson's got a huge run here, but
watch Kevin try to.
Kevin's got to run on the 17 at the same time, so Kevin has to check up here, and Kyle's got a ton of momentum.
Yeah, you saw Kevin kind of move to the outside, and Larson was trying to tee him up, square him up, so it was a good bump draft, and they both hit at an angle and spun him around.
And you could see how the exhaust pipes out of the 5 car. You could see where he lifted, so it wasn't like he just ran in there and plowed through.
And 2 cars that shoot through the middle, Kyle Busch and David Reagan in the 15.
One more inside, then you're clear low.
He moved up to square up to the 17 right at the time as the 5 hit him. It's just a timing thing, accordioned, and away they went. Dang it, took out a lot of good ones there as well.
Looks to me like a right rear tire going down.
LaJoie had a rough ride there. Kyle.
And the tire just push it. Finally gets down to the left rear. Yeah, he just.
Chase Elliott took a shot in the right door.
Right, and I'm wondering if that will hurt that toe link that we talk about on the right rear, because it hit him pretty solid in the right rear.
Maybe he got the door.
Hopefully.
Yeah. I think he got the door of the 9.
Hit.
Out there when they go into the corners. He also made a very interesting point. He said,
I feel crash. 19's going to go around. He'll collect the 1. The 22 of Logano also in it.
Stay up there. Lots of cars. Look at the 5 of Larson there.
McDowell comes back up in front. He'll tag another car. Kyle Larson in it also.
Big damage for the 3. It was interesting, guys. Like there was a wreck, and then it almost continued farther along than I expected with Larson and a couple other cars. Yeah, the 15 gets out of shape, out of the gas. Nobody has anywhere to go. I don't know if the 15 15 might have had a flat entering the corner. Looked like he was having some type of an issue and out of the throttle. And you could see him checking the back of the car. So watch the 15. He's lifting, wiggling out of the throttle. And this is a super speedway type of event where if a guy's lifting like that, you've got nowhere to go. You see everybody piling in.
I see Todd Gilliland is having a good day early. He's got a little damage. That wiggle right there, and just Kyle Larson couldn't see that. He had no idea that problem was going on. Got in the back of Ty Dillon.
But where we need to watch is this 45 car and the 4 car on the outside. A little bit of gap here. Kevin closes in, contact with the 45. That's what also catches the 12.
And then it's on.
Yeah, it didn't take much. It looked like Tyler was having trouble holding on to it, and as soon as that 4 got back to his bumper in the corner, it just unfortunately turned him right into the 12.
Let's listen to Harvick here.
I just got it in the wrong spot of the corner there. I don't know if I actually even touched him, but it just came out from underneath him.
Man, did you see how close Chastain was to that?
Eric Jones, Chase Elliott, Daniel Suarez are all collateral damage.
Suarez hit the outside pretty hard.
3 wide.
Well, good. You got the help.
Larson tried to go to the middle. Oh, he got turned.
Larson Pastrana in the fence. We are
Keselowski's
still
out.
green. No, the caution is out.
Well, here comes the energy. Bell filled that void, gives him a big shot. 5 gets turned around. Look, right there. He's in front of him and wins this great American race. Had the 5 stayed in front of him, the 5's going to be the one when I think back of this race, he's going to be coulda, woulda, shoulda. Oh, so close.
Stenhouse won here in July 2017.
The 10 car back in the back of the 67 car.
You're in it, 10.
Crash, Kyle Larson. Caution, lap 209. And Eric Almirola's gamble and great day ends up in the fence. They were running 1-2. Here's a look at it.
Blew a tire. You heard Larry tell us 45 laps on them tires. Long ways to go. The only ones that stayed out. Blew a right rear tire right in front of the field. Took out Larson.
Here's from the Coca-Cola Zero Sugar cam on board Denny Hamlin.
Wow.
Those were 72 lap tires on Almirola's car. And from Christopher Bell and the Toyota cam.
Kyle slammed in that wall pretty hard, out of his car, already loaded up in the ambulance. Frustrated, obviously. Right in front of him, right in his lap, nothing he could do. Tried to check up. Man.
But importantly, Larson walked away.
That's right.
Yes.
Yeah, because this is a big hit when this swings around driver's side of the safer barrier.
Eric Almirola out of his car, and he appears to be okay. Push comes to shove, and Gregson's in the wall.
Larson's around.
And Larson up the racetrack in traffic, and he collects Preece.
Hard hit.
Good grief.
Saw that. He got to pushing him hard. Chastain was pushing Noah very hard, but wasn't patient. Was ready to go right off the bat. Turns him around right into the fence, right in front of everybody. Tony, hard hit on your car right there.
All right, now Noah Gragson. You'll see the one drop to the middle here.
Well, you see a big push out of the 5 into the 1. That got Noah sideways, got him up the track a little bit.
Chastain saw the window, wasn't much of a door, and he tried to take it. Wrecked him.
Oh, Larson slid up the racetrack, and Preece coming at full speed.
That's a bummer for Noah. Have that opportunity there. Didn't even get a chance to really make much of it.
Well, just had a little too much movement when he got pushed, and it unfortunately got him to the outside and opened that door. That is a huge hit.
Let's ride with Noah Gragson. All right, this is Ryan Preece.
Oh, he actually throttled up. Tried to get there.
Tried to get through it before the 5 got up. Whew.
Oh, we got a spin in the back. I believe it's 5. Larson's around in front of the field.
Still sliding, but not a lot of contact. Looks like the 14 of Briscoe avoiding. He got turned around as well.
62, Austin Hill.
So successful in Xfinity Series on these types of tracks. Take another look at what happened.
There's the 5 and the 43, Eric Jones. So the 5 is loose now. He just gets loose, and it's before Eric ever touched him, he got sideways. It's slick out there. You know, there's moments where you have a lot of grip and you build confidence. And then you find yourself in a situation like that. Even some of the best drivers in the world can't escape from. This track is something else.
He was running 14th. Great job. Almost everyone avoiding him. Sideways, as you mentioned, in front of the pack.